crossed the border illegally. You broke the motherfucking law. You did. You should have no motherfucking rights if you come over here and broke the law. None. None at all. You should be fucking sit back. Period.
Due process, and you should not be able to anchor a baby here. And even if we had anchor baby status, if you were here legally and you had a child, you like a visa or a green card or something like that, and you were here legally, you had a kid here, I can see how a person could consider that. But if you've already broken the law to get here, and now we make your children citizens, it's the dumbest act of all time, because if something happens to where you have to be deported, your kid get to stay here and you have to go? That never made sense whatsoever. And Republicans and Democrats alike have been dropping the ball on the subject for whatever reason. People often say that Republicans...
And I agree. Like, I'm a straight up Republican, but I agree 100%. Both sides dropped the ball on that bullshit. Both sides. Thank God on the mega Republicans, not just the Republicans. Things are about to fucking change.
Republicans wanted cheap labor, and Democrats obviously want the votes. Both people are abusing these innocent people, most of them who are innocent, who come over here just looking for a better opportunity because they were lied to. They were looking at the news. They got flyers dropped off. Coyotes are telling them, if you go there, you're going to get citizenship. You're going to have jobs and opportunities or whatever. And then you get trafficked over here. The little girls get trafficked. The kids get trafficked. There's over 300,000 kids that they don't have accounts.
Think about that. 300,000 kids. Like, the biggest town around me, which is a whole town, is like Cuba. And I think it's got like 3,000 people. And it's a pretty good-sized town with quite a bit of people in it. But 300,000 kids are missing that have come over the border. 300,000.
Because they bring the kids over here, and who's their daddy? Mama. Where they come from? What's the real name? They have no Social Security number, nothing. Then they get over in the country, and the crazy people, the sickos, they take those kids and do all kind of stuff with them. Where do you think that? Who you?
Yeah, it's just sad. Sad is what that is. Freaking sad.
They recording on those videos that they get busted for looking at and sharing on.
Morale is already being lifted. They have just been beaten down by the policies of this last administration. I'm really encouraged by what you're saying, because I think the toughest part of your job isn't the deportation. It's dealing with the propaganda from the other side, saying that what you're doing is not compassionate, that it's not humanitarian. And what do you plan to do? I'm glad you mentioned the 300,000 children that are missing, but how are you going to deal with those kinds of attacks, even though you know that this open border has led to sex trafficking of children and an exponential increase of child labor, illegal child labor?
Scary.
Frankly, I don't care what people think about me, especially on the left. Again, when you have a historic crisis, a crisis this big, here's what they need to know. When you have a crisis this big that overwhelms the Border Patrol, where the majority of Border Patrol are no longer on patrol, they're making changing diapers, they're making baby formula, they're making hospital runs, they're making airport runs. When you take most of the Border Patrol agents off the border to deal with humanitarian crisis, that's when the fentanyl comes across to kill 250,000 Americans. That's when the sex trafficking has increased 600%. That's when non-suspected terrorists cross this country. They've had a record of people on terrorist watch lists.
Wow. And that's because of our government we have right now. Nobody can get blamed for what's happening at the border except Joe Biden and border czar Kamala Harris. And I don't think that's how her name's pronounced. I really don't give a shit. That's the problem at our border. It's their fault. 1,100% their fault.